I woke from unconsciousness, horrified to find myself trapped on a cliff face with a bottomless valley yawning beneath my feet. Looking up, I saw my parachute tangled in a tree above. The entire cliff was covered in ice and snow. Realizing the parachute wouldn't hold much longer, I immediately turned to attempt a self-rescue. I felt along the rock wall with my hands and quickly pulled out my knife. Then I took off my shoes and stabbed the knife through them, pushing it out through the toe to create makeshift climbing shoes. To be able to climb, I took out 2 more knives and, using momentum, drove them into the rock. With this improvised climbing gear, I struggled to climb upward. But before long, the knives couldn't bear my weight and suddenly snapped in 2. I slid down the rock face, ending up right back where I started. Worse still, the already fragile branches began to break. At this critical moment, I used all my strength to turn my body, pressing my toes against the rock while frantically cutting at the parachute with my remaining knife. Just as the branch snapped, I successfully cut through the parachute and escaped disaster. However, without the parachute anchoring me, I could only press myself against the cliff face, unable to do anything else. Just when I was losing hope, I looked up and saw a mountain goat spreading its front and back legs across both sides of a crevice, easily climbing up the cliff. This rekindled my hope for survival. Following the goat's example, I gathered my courage and released my hands that were holding my body in place. Fortunately, the crevice wasn't too wide, and I successfully wedged myself in the middle of the cliff. After resting briefly, I began slowly climbing upward. Soon I reached a protruding rock ledge, but before I could celebrate, the outcropping suddenly began to collapse. In the face of death, my survival instinct exploded into action and I ran frantically up the cliff face. I couldn't believe I had actually made it up. But just then, a mountain goat walked up to me and suddenly charged at me with its head. The impact nearly sent me tumbling off the cliff. Seeing the provocative goat, I was furious. When the goat charged again, I quickly grabbed its horns, intending to pull us both over the cliff edge. But to my surprise, the goat actually pulled me up onto the cliff ledge. I stared at the goat before me, unable to believe it had saved my life.